time of the year, but also paired with the fact that the water has risen up a bit, and it's all into the grass. So I'm basically fishing about 3.5. My boat's in 3.5, 4 foot of water. So obviously by the bank we're talking 1.5 feet. So what I've decided to do is, just off the edge of the grass for now, I'll fish a jerkbait. Wire jerkbait, classical mesh the hatch. There must be some bait fish in the grass. The fish will actively be feeding on that. So a bait like a jerkbait kind of is right in the food chain of the bass and what they're actually eating right now. Grab the fish and it's moving your arm like that. See, that's what I call it on the frog. So what are we looking at? I think we're flirting with 3 kgs, yeah? I might have underestimated, but these are the fish that eat frogs in the grass. Yeah, like any day you give me a fish like this, we can pack up and go home.
It's been a tough morning. We haven't managed to get too many good keepers on the boat. We put one on the boat early, but we've been catching a lot of undersized fish. Typical Midmar coming out to play, and you know, throwing out all those 25 to 29 centimeter fish just under the size limit, making it very difficult for us to get our bag. What we're busy doing at the moment is we're targeting this grass edge with small paddle-tail type swim baits, and we're just winding it slowly back to the boat, and these fish are setting up on the little points of the grass lines and ambushing our little paddle tails as they come past. And yeah, it's an exciting way to fish. You get some nice sort of explosive bites, and it's a good way to get 5. Unfortunately today it hasn't been the magic bait for us, but we're going to persist with it and see if we can get a couple of baits. You know, I believe in covering water to try and find less fish but more sort of active, aggressive fish, to try and get them to target, instead of trying to slowly work it through the shallows with you know, sort of dead sticking plastics. I think trying to target them with moving baits gives us a better shot at finding these fish. So let's see, we'll run down this bank and see if we can't get a bite or two.
Right guys, Zane here, Team Mospe. I just want to talk a little bit about the tandem lawn mowers that Mospe distribute. Tandem manufacture lawn mowers to cater for absolutely every application or requirement that is needed, whether it be at home, in a small estate with a really tiny little garden, or a garden service, or someone that has commercial size areas to mow. What's really neat about Tandem is they make these lawnmowers with a really vast variety of mower chassis combinations to deal with all these demanding requirements, whether it be contractors or, as I said, the person at home with a, you know, in an estate with a really small piece of lawn. So be sure to get down to your nearest stockist of tandem lawnmowers, and yeah, see what you can find.
This morning we practiced in a spot down in the bottom of Island Bay, and we caught a lot of little fish. And we went back there with thoughts of being able to upgrade on those little fish that we caught in practice. And we were very fortunate enough to catch 2 good weighers right in the early morning. And then we caught a lot of little fish, which I think by the sounds of the results there was lots of little fish. And other than that, we only weighed 3 fish. We did catch 5, 2 died, but the 3 were good enough for the day, and that was it. And well done to James and I.
Pretty tough day. I seem to be always saying this. We've had a couple of tough tournaments, but today was particularly tough. We actually had a blank today, Team Husqvarna, but we weren't the only ones. But some really great fish came out, and there was an absolutely wonderful turnout. So what a beautiful day it was, and wonderful turnout from competitors. Lots and lots of extra people seemingly today. Joey's put on a good show for us, and as always, fish or no fish, it's always an absolute pleasure to be part of such a wonderful event. So to the organisers, thank you very much, and we'll see you all at Albert Falls. Yeah, tight lines.
Oh, we've had an extremely difficult day, especially when one's partner goes to great lengths to try not to come fishing. But what I would like seriously to do here is to thank Joey and his team and everybody, all the other sponsors who have generously helped this tour become what it is. And I do believe that our Joey's tournament is going to go from strength to strength. And some guys made this tournament today look very easy, and there were some very nice fish that came out. Unfortunately, we weren't any of those. But once again, I'd like to thank everybody involved in administration and the running of this event, because those are the guys that make it all worthwhile. Okay.
Guys, we've obviously finished the event at Midmar. It's been a brutal day's fishing. We caught a lot of small fish. We initially had a plan to run into the back of Thurlow and fish the shallows with Z2s, twitching them on the surface. In practice, we got a lot of size fish like that, so that was what we had planned. Went in the back there, and with all the rain we've had, the water in the back there is chocolate brown. You can't see anything, and I just think the fish that are in there are just not comfortable, so they didn't eat. So from there, we ran around to a small little bay that I found in practice, sort of halfway between the main lake and the buoy line at Pylon. And we went in there, we caught a lot of small fish again, but nothing of substance. And then I started throwing a jerkbait, a striking jerkbait, and we started getting more fish more frequently. And then I got a size fish, and Paddy also was throwing the Z2. He was also twitching a caffeine shad, a weightless caffeine shad, and all of a sudden, for some reason, we started throwing wacky rigs, and we started catching a lot of fish. But still, all undersized fish. Everything you measure, and then we still fished some more, a hell of a lot more. We really fished a lot today. We caught a lot of fish. We had a lot of fun. And in a last call, I said to Paddy, let's just run into that bay where we went into with some dead trees in it. And Paddy picked up my wacky rig that had a 3-inch Occo on it, a striking Occo, and he put it in next to the tree, and I still saw him flick it out of the tree, and then he said he was stuck, and stuck began to move. And that's when I looked at the water. I still thought it was a catfish, it was so big, and then it turned on its side and pandemonium struck us. We landed the fish, 5.27, and resulting in us coming second overall, as well as my man Patrick here with his PB. Well done, Patrick. Well done. Well done. Unfortunately not on camera, but we'll check it out. Maybe we got some of it on GoPro. Right guys, our next event is at Albert Falls, which hopefully it'll be a bit easier on us. I just want to thank Mosbear for their involvement in our sport, really appreciative of it, and a really big thank you to Joey's Towing for the lovely spread that they've put on here for all the guys and their families. We really appreciate it. Thanks a lot guys, see you at the next event.
So we had a bit of a tough day today. We managed to get 5 keepers, which was alright. I think that was our goal. So to come here and get 5, and I think we were only a team to get 5. But yeah, what we did today, we just moved in about 8 foot of water. We threw a red-eye shad, and yeah, those fish would, I mean, we caught plenty fish, but nothing great. And in between those non-keepers, we managed to get a couple keepers, so it made it worth it for us. But yeah, no great shakes, just a lot of small fish and a couple keepers in between. So yeah, we managed to get 5, and we only got 5 keepers, but yeah, a really tough day. So yeah, we just managed to do it right in the end. Yeah.